No Fit. And I thought I'd tell you about motivation because I posted a post up yesterday where yesterday morning, every morning in Melbourne at the moment is absolutely freezing. And so it's not enjoyable to get out there and do exercise. But I posted a little video of myself doing the dreaded sled where for 30 minutes in 3 degrees I was pushing a sled basically, which isn't one of my favorite activities at all. And so people were sending me comments about how do you get motivated to do that? How do you get motivated? So first of all, before I talk to you about motivation, I'm going to give you two key areas about how to get motivated. Why exercise? Why exercise at all? A lot of people say, no, I don't need to do that. Well, the reason why I exercise is that one, now this might sound like it's not the truth, but it absolutely is the truth for me, I can eat more. So when we exercise, we can eat more because when it's just basic maths, right? What in terms of calories in and calories out, calories in and calories out. Now, with exercise, not only can you eat more because of the calories that you've expended during that time, but when you exercise consistently and regularly with weights, your muscles actually act as a furnace. And so the muscle mass gets bigger. Now, when the muscle mass gets bigger, it means that for instance, if there's somebody next to me who has a lower muscle mass than me because they don't train, and I've got a higher muscle mass than them because I do train, I can eat more and not put on weight. So how good is that? So you've got to see, you can see a fireplace behind me. So imagine there's a furnace and the wood that's in there, the more wood you've got in there, which is the muscles, the more it can burn. So that's the way muscles work. And so, of course, people who have a higher muscle mass in their body are able to consume more calories than those who don't, and therefore put less weight on. So that's the first reason I can eat more. And I love my food. I've got a European background and I absolutely love food. It's part of our culture to eat. And so that's the first reason. The second reason that I train consistently every morning is that I feel crap when I don't. So on the days that I don't, it's almost like a conscious effort during the day to give myself that feeling that I feel good. Okay, so over 20 years ago, I suffered from depression. So I'm predisposed to those feelings of depression. And so I've got to make sure that those endorphins are going crazy in my body and in my system. And the way that I give them a good kickstart is by training in the morning, because it makes me feel good. On the days that I don't train, I feel crap. So who wants to feel like that? And so it acts as my injection, my endorphin injection, so that I can feel good. So they're the reasons as to why we should exercise and why it's such a good idea to exercise. We can eat more, we look better, we feel better, and all that contributes to a feeling of well-being and happiness with those endorphins going and zapping through our body. All right, so that's the big why for me in terms of exercise. So how do you get motivated to exercise? And this is where people make the mistake, because they feel that, okay, that feeling needs to somehow just turn up. The motivation feeling needs to turn up and then they act on that feeling. That's not the way it works. So I would bet that our professional athletes and the ones that are forcing themselves out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning so they could do hours of training, so they could do some sort of a professional event, they don't feel like doing it. So you don't wait for the feeling to come. This is the trick. Now listen for it. The feeling comes after you've trained. And therefore, you've now created a new neural pathway that says, I feel good when I train. And then you're likely to do it again because you connect to that feeling. So don't wait for the feeling to come. Most of the time, I would say as high as 9 out of 10 times, I actually do not want to go out of bed in the morning. And in fact, In fact, this is what happens in my head every morning. There's an instant excuse. So there's an excuse that pops into my head that says why I can't get up, why I don't need to train today. But then I've got that neural pathway that says, hey, remember last time you went, Helen? You felt really good when you did it. Didn't that feel good? And then I connect to that feeling. So the feeling comes after you've already done it, not before. Okay, so that's the first thing, is don't wait for motivation to come to you. You need to create motivation. The second thing is get accountable. Get accountable. So every time throughout my training history, no matter where I have been, no matter where I have gone, I have found an accountability buddy. So whether it was someone to run with, and I had a running buddy turn up at my house every Saturday morning. So she was here, so I had to go downstairs and meet her, and we had to go out for a run. Or whether it's a personal training session, or whether it's, you know, during this ISO time, during this where we're in lockdown. Well, we're not in lockdown anymore. Restrictions have lifted, but I now go to a lady down the street who I train with at the gym, and she has a home gym that she set up in her garage. We still keep a safe distance, and we train together, which has been allowed from the beginning in terms of training with somebody else. So I have someone that I'm accountable to always, whether it's a training buddy at the gym. Now, these are not necessarily people that were my friends to begin with. So as an example, my current training buddy, her name is Dao. She's gorgeous. I didn't know Dao before I joined my gym. So I think I joined that particular gym about 3.5, 4 years ago. I didn't know her before then, but I approached her and said, is it okay if I train together? And she loves that because, you know, we're a team. We help each other with weights. We put the weights back. We help each other. We support each other. So that's how that happened. Before her, I was I went to a particular CrossFit Blackburn, and my accountability buddy was Mina there. And so she helped me be accountable to her. So there's always someone that I find in my world where I'm accountable to them. So they're the two tricks. Trick number one is don't wait for motivation to find you. You've got to find motivation, because the feeling comes after, not before. And trick number two, get accountable by finding someone that you are accountable to. You have to show up. You can't let them down. You have to show up. Whether it's a personal trainer, whether it's a friend that you can walk with and do a regular walk. That's a great way to do a catch up rather than a coffee and a cake. Catch up over a walk. That's something that I do with my bestie. We've let it lapse recently, but we're going to go back to it with my bestie Anna. That's how we catch up. We catch up by going for a walk. So there's so many ways that you can make sure that you do what you want to do, because to get what you want, you need to do the things that you don't want to do. And the more you do it, you're building that muscle that says, yes, that's who I am. I'm that person that gets up in the morning and trains. You build that muscle up that has that memory of, yes, I am that person. So you need to start that. If you've got any questions about any of that, please let me know, and I'd be happy to help you. This is Helen from HypnoFit.